welcome to this Gita Course organized by Prestige Textile Gita Life. We just celebrated wonderful Janmashtami with all your cooperations and collaborations on 18th of August. This has been a second season, and first session was held before the Janmashtami. This will be a 9-day session. We have already completed 3 Mondays.
2.
This is the second one, and once every Sunday we'll complete family engagement. So welcome aboard. My brother will give the introduction.
Haribol everyone. Today's speaker is Her Grace Manjul Ali Guptasi, also known as our Dr. Menika. She is a physiotherapist by profession since the past 20 years. She has been the Honorable Physiotherapist for the President of India, Mr. K.R. Narayanan. She has also extensively worked with special children in Malaysia and Singapore. She has been into Krishna consciousness movement since her childhood and has been serving ISKCON through various online and offline classes. I would request Swati Mataji to please come and garland Manjulal Mataji and let us, please Swati Mataji. Come. Right, thank you. Let us chant Haribol 3 times for Manjul Mataji.
Haribol!
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 Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Rupali Mataji, thank you very much for this introduction, and thank you, Ashish Prabhu. So we are very humbled and we are very blessed also at the same time to perform this, to carry on with this Gita course. It is a 9-day session, as already noted by Rupali Mataji, as already said by Rupali Mataji. And we will do these sessions on weekends. So this is the second session. Before we start, we'll just recite a few prayers. Let us chant Om 3 times. All together. Let's take a deep breath in and chant Om. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Namas Shri Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, once again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jalachalam Pangum Langayate Giram Yakripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Deenataranam Paramanandam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Paramanandam Madhavam. So let us start with a small kirtan that we always perform just before our Gita course. So this is the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra when sung before reciting the shlokas or explaining the Bhagavad Gita gives us the capacity or the capability to understand what the Lord is trying to tell us. Otherwise, many of us would have read Bhagavad Gita. But yes, it is up to the Lord, it is up to the mercy of the Lord that we understand the shlokas and apply Bhagavad Gita in our lives. So we'll do just a short kirtan of 4 to 5 minutes and then start with today's lecture. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
you very much for this wonderful rendition of these prayers, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And now, okay, so for all those of you who are attending it for the first time, how many of you are attending for the first time today? Okay, oh, quite a few. Okay, so we've done the first session 2 weeks back. So all through these 9 weeks, we will not go shloka by shloka. There will be 9 weeks, once a week session on Sunday. Yes? So we will not be doing it shloka by shloka, but yes, we will be conveying the message of Bhagavad Gita in different subject matters, like who is pulling my strings? Why do bad things happen to good people? What is karma? What is time? Who is the supreme most? And who are we? And why are we suffering? Right? So this is what we will cover. And also, for the benefit of those who are coming for the first time, last time we discussed about happiness. What is happiness? We all are seeking for happiness, isn't it? Is there anyone who doesn't want happiness? In fact, yes. So in fact, we are always seeking for ways to increase our happiness in this material world. Yes, and why not? Because we are Anandamayo Bhyasa. That means we are that part and parcel of that supreme personality of Godhead who is called Sat Chit Ananda. Right? This beautiful form of Krishna is Sat Chit and Ananda. Right? It is made up of bliss, eternity and knowledge, and we are part and parcels of that Satchidananda Vigraha. So this in the right place at the right time. So we also discussed about physical needs and psychological needs. That yes, all of us have. This is a recap of the last session. So we also discussed about physical needs and psychological needs. Yes, we need emotional support from our friends, relatives when we are a little down and when we are feeling sad. So, but is that the real solution? And also physical needs, yes, we earn our living, we are grihasthas, so we have to bring up our children, we have to build up our house and have some savings, that's the physical needs. But what is it that we are missing? Yes?
Bhakti.
Yes, which need is that which we are missing
Bhakti,
here?
spiritual.
Spiritual need, yes. This is a recap, so all those who have attended can, yes, of course, answer. So yes, we are missing the spiritual need. And in Bhagavad Gita 5.22, Krishna says, Yahi samsparsha jab hoga, dukkha yona eva ye, adi antavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. That means an intelligent person does not take part in enjoying with these senses, right? Because these senses, our eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, these are the actual reasons of us suffering in this material world. We will see how, right? And instead, what we can do is, we can divert these senses to serve the Lord, who is Rishikesh, right? Rishik means senses, Esha means who is the master. We are the servant of our senses. Today, if our tongue says, I want to eat something out in the restaurant, we'll go out and eat, right? But in that case, so bhakti, the spiritual quorum says that instead of that, if we use our tongue to honor prasadam or to eat prasadam, then that is serving the Lord. Whatever we cook at home without onion, garlic and mushrooms, that is the sattvic food, we offer to the Lordships. And Lord, what does He do? He takes away all the sins from that, and then that becomes prasadam. And then we honor it. Yes, we have had our favorite dish, but we have had it after offering it to the Lord. So, Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktirupchate, which means with our senses we serve Krishna or Rishikesh, right? And then we also spoke about happiness has 3 characters. Anybody remembers? What are the 3 characters of happiness? Which is B, P and L, BPL. It's not the corporate BPL, but yes, every happiness has a beginning and an end, right? Whatever, we go for a vacation, we go to a restaurant, we go for some time and we have to come back. We can't be at a vacation place of vacation all the time, right? We know. And B means every enjoyment comes with a suffering, right? We tend to go to a restaurant, maybe we overeat, we get stomach upset, right? So we have to pick and choose what is the source of real happiness. So we will come to that now, right? And L means limited. All the happiness, that the objects of happiness are limited. We can't keep watching movie forever, right? We can't keep playing, our favorite game, cricket, or even watching it forever. So these material happinesses are limited, right? And we also discussed about how there is a difference between a human and the other species of life, the animal species of life. We quoted this beautiful shloka which says, Ahara nitra bhayamaithunam cha samananetayat pashubhir narannam dharmo hitesho adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhir naranam. Ahara nitra bhayamaithunam. These are 4 things which are common between humans and animals. Eating, we eat, animals eat. Sleeping, producing children, and defending. So these are 4 things which are common to us and to animals. But what is that thing which differentiates us from the other lower species of life? Is dharmo hitesho adhiko vishesho. So that is knowing about our real dharma, which is the Sanatan Dharma, that we are servants of the Lord, of the Supreme. That is Sanatan Dharma. Not that we are the servants of our senses, right? Man ki nahi sunni hai, man ko samjhana hai. That yes, we are the servants of the Supreme, right? And dharmena hina pashubhir narana. That means a person or a human without dharma is equivalent to an animal, right? So this is what it is said. And also, we also discussed that every commodity comes with a manual. It's Diwali time, so many of you must be buying a lot of commodities, isn't it? Somebody is buying an AC because this is an off season and it's Diwali time, so a lot of discount. Somebody is buying a TV, somebody is buying a washing machine. And all the commodities, they come with a manual of how one can operate this particular commodity. If we fail to read this commodity, we might end up spoiling the commodity, isn't it? So this human birth is also a very, very special commodity, right? So this also comes with a manual, which is Bhagavad Gita, right? If we want to live a meaningful life, not only a successful life, but a meaningful life, then we must read the Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Lord Krishna is ready to guide us, but we have to pick up the book, open the main cover and start reading it. Yes, so with this we are really, really humbled. I have, again, it's a disclaimer, I am not a perfectionist in Bhagavad Gita, but I'm just a practitioner. And whatever I have learned from Bhagavad Gita, from my spiritual master, from my seniors, I'll just try to put it forward to all of you. And this is an interactive session. Anytime you can stop me and ask, if there is any doubt, any slide, we can just, let it be an interactive session. Now, a beautiful story that we told last time was that of a farmer. Now, there was a farmer once upon a time, and this farmer earned a lot of money. And guess what? He bought a Mercedes. He bought a Mercedes, but he was a farmer, right? So what did he do with Mercedes? He picked up that Mercedes and went to plow his fields with the Mercedes. Can you guess what happened to the Mercedes? Yes? Anyone? What happened? What could happen to the Mercedes? Yes, it spoiled. The Mercedes got spoiled, the field got spoiled, and the farmer was also very upset. So we have this body of ours is like a great Mercedes, it's like a big Mercedes. Let us use it very wisely, very, very wisely in the service of the Lord. Yes, Krishna doesn't tell us that adopt Bhagavad Gita, but sit at home, renounce everything. No, we must follow Bhagavad Gita as a guide and do our duty as a teacher, as a mother, as a father, as an employer, everything, right? So, okay. And so our acharyas say, then what is the solution? Our acharya says, then what is our solution if this is a place which is called Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam? If this is a place of only worries, anxieties and distress. We discussed this in detail, right? Because of course every happiness cannot be long-lived, it is only short-lived. So this is not a hotel, it is a hospital where we come to get better. And how do we get better? With the right medicine, right? And that medicine, our Acharya says, is chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So if this is not our house, real home, and that is why we are all the time agitated and distressed. There are periods of very calm happiness also, but most of the time we are always thinking about something or the other. अच्छा आज बच्चे का 12th है, उसके बाद कॉलेज क्या होगा, उसके बाद what will be the job that she or he picks up, right? Are you resonating with what I'm saying? Everybody is kind of agreeing, yes? We have quite a few senior citizens also. Yes, you, from your life experience. Yes, this worry and this anxiety never leaves us, right? So what is our real home? Then our acharyas say in Bhagavad Gita 15.6, there's a beautiful shloka. It says, Na tat bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yat gatpana nivartante tathama paramam mama. That abode of mind, that house of mind, as Krishna says to Arjuna, that abode of mind, that house of mind, which is not lit either by a sun or moon or even electricity, pavakaha, that is self-illumined, right? Whoever goes there, upon reaching that Vaikuntha, never returns. What does the word Vaikuntha mean? Vaikuntha means a place where there is no kuntha. Kuntha means anxiety. It is a place free of anxieties. How nice would it be, right, when we wake up in the morning and we open the door and we see one Leela of Krishna happening, then the other at lunchtime we open our door and all that we witness is the beautiful Leelas, and of course we are there with our families. And that is why this is a family engagement where there's a separate class for children. Yes, we will take the children in a while and teach them some nice shlokas. Okay. So we'll discuss chapter 1 today, right? And before that, yes, we are very, very indebted to our grand spiritual master, who is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Because of him, when he went at the ripe age of 70 years to US, and after traveling for 35 days in Jaladuta, which was a cargo ship from Kolkata to Boston, and he landed there with just $7 in his pocket, and of course some acquaintance of Mr. Agarwal, who gave him a small place to live there, to stay there. So, and with that, so many difficulties he faced. At that time, there was Vietnam and US war which was going on. And the youngsters were the most affected ones. The youngsters were the ones who had become hippies. They were resorting to drugs, illicit sex, and they would do so many abominable activities. And the government of US, New York, US was also very, very perturbed with this behavior, and they didn't know what to do. So Srila Prabhupada, what he thought that this is the target population. Prabhupada thought that yes, these hippies are the target population because they are the most distressed. Let me give them shelter of Harinam. So he started chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. They slowly, the hippies started chanting with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada started cooking for them, and the hippies converted into happies. Right? This is what happened. Yes. So we go. So now we begin with today's session, which is patch-up solution or perfect solution. Are we here to find just a temporary solution for our distress, for our anxiety? No. somebody who comes to us with a, say with a backache or with a knee pain, we just tell them, okay, take a painkiller, theek ho jayega. No. We get an X-ray, we get an MRI, we take the opinion of a specialist, we give a nutrition for the joints, and we find complete end-to-end solution, right? So let us see what are those solutions which are just not patch-up solutions for a while, temporary, but these are long-lasting solutions, right? So let us see. Welcome to Gita Course session 2 once again, right? So we all are suffering here, yes, we discussed why this is because this is Dukkhalem, Ashashvatam, but a little bit of reading of Srimad Bhagavad Gita removes all the viruses which are Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, right? So now, how can one get rid of these sufferings? Now, first quality is tolerance. You know? So there's a beautiful pastime of a devotee, and Prabhupada had experienced this, and those new devotees in US and UK, they tell us about this in this beautiful Prabhupada Leelamrita scripture. So there was once a boy, Peter. So this boy, Peter, was always engaged in drinking and smoking. And Prabhupada's movement had taken up to some height in US and UK. So there was a small place where Prabhupada had put up altar, and he would give lectures, and he would do the kirtan and offer prasadam to everyone. So this boy Peter, he would come and he would just sit, and he would not even sit, he would just lie down. So after some time, Prabhupada observed it, but he did not say anything. So Prabhupada left, and his disciples carried on all the seva and worship. So this Peter boy, he would come completely drunk in a temple. Imagine, you know, is it tolerable? Is it tolerable? No, right? He would come and he would sit like this, and he would just sit facing with his legs towards the altar, and all the new disciples were very, very upset. So they wrote a letter to Srila Prabhupada, and they said that Prabhupada, this person Peter is really disturbing. His conduct is not good at all, and he sits in the temple because in such and such a way, and that spoils the decorum of the temple. Do you know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, why don't you tolerate? Isn't it? Prabhupada said, why don't you tolerate his behavior? Right? We get angry at the drop of a hat, isn't it? Yes, and that is where, you know, we lose out on our patience, on our tolerance. These devotees, they tolerated his behavior on the word of Srila Prabhupada, and this person, how many of you know BHU, Banaras Hindu University? Yes, yes. So Banaras Hindu University, there is a section where there is a reading of the Shastras that takes place. So there are these scriptures of Rupa Goswami. So this person went and studied extensively the Shastras of Rupa Goswami, and he is one of them. He wrote an entire commentary on this, right? And his name is Pritapra Krishna Das. So imagine, such people have become devotees. You know, such uncivilized people have become devotees just by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, right? And reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Yes, so this is the story of crazy Peter, who becomes a Sanskrit scholar, right? Okay, so now this is what we will do in our session today. What is real happiness? Is connecting to the eternal, right? What does eternal mean for you? Anyone would like to say what does eternal mean in common terms?
Forever.
Sorry.
This life and eternal forever.
Yes, this life and beyond. Yes, that's what you mean to say. Yes. That which has no end. Always there. Shashwat. Right? Not a Shashwat. Shashwat, which is always there. Right? So we will do, what will we do? We will be inquiring about the divine purpose of life. What is the use of this human birth? Why we are not born as a dog or an elephant? And what did we do in our past life if we were a dog and elephant? Right? So this human life is the time to understand only why is a human being considered to be of highest intelligence? Because of this fact that in this human life we can realize what is God. Then hearing the holy name and fame of the Lord. When we hear the holy name of the Lord, yes, the name of the Lord Krishna is non-different from Krishna. The moment we say Krishna, Krishna is present here. But yes, many people may argue that yes, where is Krishna? Show us. So we cannot see Krishna with these eyes because our eyes are imperfect. We cannot hear the Lord with our ears because if we switch off this light, right, there will be complete darkness. We can't even see who is sitting next to us. Forget seeing the Lord. And how can we hear the Lord? We can't hear even ultrasonic sounds, right? So our senses are imperfect. So what is the way to see the Lord? Through the scriptures. Shastra chakshushaha means scriptures are our eyes. The scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes? And okay, and chanting the holy names, yes. And yes, of course, we have to take the, what is the medicine then? What is the medicine for this disease where we are living? This is a hospital and we said that this is Dukhalaya and we are all diseased. We just said this because we are full of anxiety. But can we just go to anyone and everyone and seek for solace? Right? No. We have to go to the right place, to the right person and resort to the right book. There are Bhagavad Gitas. I have read so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. But yes, personally, which touches my heart, and there are around 55 million copies sold in the entire world of this Bhagavad Gita as it is, which is a great inspiration for many. You can also see how many great personalities have praised this Bhagavad Gita. Right? So we have to take the medicine in the correct proportion by seeing the correct, visiting a perfect doctor and with the correct prescription. Right? So our doctor today is Srila Prabhupada. Yes, and I'm just a conveyor or postman who is trying to convey the message as it is, without anything I think or my opinion. Yes, we do that, right? Whenever we discuss Bhagavad Gita in other, apartments also, whenever we have done. Yes, there are some people, yes, they are jigyasu, they want to know more. So they say that I think and we think, right? But in the introduction part, even before beginning the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada requests everyone, but it is written in the Shastras, Srila Prabhupada never says anything which is not in the Shastras, that first believe that yes, there is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara, and we are the Jivas. And He is the Supreme Controller and we are controlled by Him. And then with that mood, read the first chapter and go on. Not that after I will read the Bhagavad Gita, it will be confirmed to me that Krishna is God or there is a Supreme Personality of God. And no. Let us start with this mood that yes, there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we are subordinate to Him. We are not the masters of all that we have. Right? Okay. So we also discussed this beautiful shloka. Right? And this beautiful shloka is Sa evayam maya tedya Yaga prakata puratanaha Bhaktosmi sakha cheti Rahasyam hya etaduttamam. Can anyone read the translation, please? Is anybody?
That very
Yes, ma'am.
that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science.
Haribol. Thank you.
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. So yes, Krishna also says to Arjuna that I am telling you this Bhagavad Gita because you are my devotee and you are my friend. Right? For anyone who wants to actually, just not before reading the Bhagavad Gita, probably, in this shloka it is said that in the purport you may read forward that anybody who wants to simply argue will never understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You may defeat the speaker or anybody, but by just argument. But at the end, we are not gaining anything, right? Of course, this doesn't close the forum for interaction. This is what I'm just. This is what is there in the purport. So this is what I just wanted to convey to you, right? Now, there are 5 subject matters to be learned in Gita. Ishvara, yes, the supreme controller. We are jivas, we are part and parcels of Krishna. Kala, the eternal time. Time always goes on. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kalo asmi. Time I am. Right? And then karma. What is good karma? What is bad karma? What to do? What not to do? People are, often think, kya kare, kya na kare, right? And Prakriti, Mother Nature. How is Prakriti controlling us? What is happening? Right? So, just to give a little bit background of the first chapter and how the Bhagavad Gita starts, is that because of the untimely death of Pandu, what happens? His 5 children were left under the shelter of Mother Kunti. And Bhishma Dev took care of both the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Right? Now, Dhritarashtra was the brother of Kuru, Pandu. He died. Right, sorry, Dhritarashtra was the one who was taking care of everyone. But still, he gave them, he offered all the Pandavas and Mother Kunti all the paraphernalia to live in the palace. A nice living, good clothes, ornaments, food, everything. And he also educated them nicely. But in his heart, he had this differentiating mentality, right? In his heart, he had this, my sons are Kauravas and Pandu's sons are Pandavas. So he had this differentiating mentality, right? And he always supported the evil plans of Duryodhan. We all know this, right? And of course, Pandavas went through many troubles. We all know how Duryodhan tried to kill Bhima by poisoning him in the form of laddus and packed him in a sanduk, in a bag, and threw that bag in the river. And that is how, but still, by the will of the Lord, he was saved. And they were also, they were sent to a Lakshagraha. Duryodhan sent him to a place of, is that AC too high, Mataji? Yeah, we can switch that off, please. Yeah, is that AC behind? That's too high. Yeah? Yes. So how they made a palace made out of wood, and they were trying to burn, but Vidura was the one, he was the uncle of the Pandavas who saved them through a secret tunnel. So time and again, Pandavas were saved, right? So, and also how their chaste wife, Draupadi, Pandavas' chaste wife Draupadi was tried to disrobe in the sabha of many elders sitting and many family members who could not speak even a word in front of Dushasan and Duryodhan, right? So all these atrocities were perpetuated on the Pandavas. So now they were sent to exile because they lost this battle, they lost this game of gambling with the Kauravas because Shakuni, he was the master gambler, right? So when they came back, they went to Duryodhan. Pandavas went to Duryodhan, Yudhishthira Maharaj went to Duryodhan and said, okay, now we are back, now give us half of the kingdom. What did Duryodhan say? He started laughing. He said, no, I will not give you anything. Pandavas said, okay, give us at least 5 villages. We will take care of these 5 villages and we will divide them amongst ourselves. But again, what did Duryodhan say? That I will not give you kingdom even equivalent to the tip of a needle. Right? Look at the fickle-mindedness. Look at the small thought process of Duryodhan. Everything is me and mine, aham and mama, right? So now the war was inevitable, right? War had to take place. So now we will see what is the structure of the first chapter. First to 11 shlokas, Dhritarashtra's fear and diplomacy is depicted. Then next few signs of victory of Pandavas, Krishna as Bhaktavatsal, and then we see how Arjun refuses to fight in the first chapter. So today we are starting first chapter and we will do some shlokas from the first chapter. So let us recite this beautiful shloka, and Dhritarashtra speaks the first shloka. Dhritarashtra vacha
धृतराष्ट्रवाच
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे
समवेतायुयुत्सवः
समवेतायुयुत्सवः
मामका पाण्डवश्चैव
मामकः पाण्डवाश्चैव
किम् अकुर्वत सञ्जय.
किं कुर्वत सञ्जय.
Please read the translation.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Thank you, bro. Very much. Okay, so see, Dhritarashtra starts with Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre. First of all, why Sanjaya is selected by Dhritarashtra? Because he was the son of Vyasadeva. And he could see, sitting in the palace, he could see what is happening in the war field. And why, next is, why Dhritarashtra is asking this obvious question that what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? Isn't it obvious that we go to a restaurant, we eat food, right? We've come here, we're listening to the Gita Course. Isn't it so obvious, right? But why is he asking? Because of his own insecurity, right? He feels that this is Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. Why? Because the place was Dharmakshetra itself. It was the most pious place because of a lot of yajnas being done by Rishi Munis. And only Dharma prevails there. And he knew that Dharma was on which side? Pandava's side. And his sons were not pious at all. He knew it. So he was thinking of that. And then next he thinks that he was wondering, this is a pious place. Will my sons and give up fighting? Will they give up all the kingdom to the Pandavas? This is the doubt that he had. And next, the third thing that he had was that this is a place which will also influence Pandavas, because the Pandavas were pious people. They might decide not to fight and quit and renounce. So there he had some hope. So there was hope amidst a lot of despair. First few things he thought, yes, aisa hoga, my Kauravas, my sons will quit and they will give up the kingdom. But then he thinks that Pandavas also might, aise bhi ho sakta hai, right? So we try to find hope in a hopeless situation also, right? So this was the condition of Dhritarashtra, right? And so next, war is inevitable, yes. Now we always feel that we are at war within ourselves, right? We are either thinking, what should we do this or should we do that? And mamakaha, when Dhritarashtra says mamakaha, right? Isn't it a very hypocritic statement, right? The Dhritarashtra is very tactfully, in a very diplomatic way, he is asking Sanjaya, right? He is very diplomatic and he is not simple at all, right? And he is inviting a lot of anxiety. So what does the Lord say? Do such people attract the Lord, who are always in anxiety and always, hypocrites trying to think something and do something and project something? Andar kuch aur, bahar kuch aur. No, such people are never peaceful. So Dhritarashtra was never peaceful. So this is a learning for us, right? This is a quality of simplicity, which is very, very, very important, right? It is dormant in us. But how do we awaken this quality? By chanting this most powerful Mahamantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this month especially is very, very auspicious to begin our spiritual journey, to restart our earlier journey which was stopped somewhere, right? Because this is the Damodar month, the month of spiritual sail. So that is why we start our journey from now on. This month is very potent, right? We'll discuss later, right? So, okay. What are the key, now let's discuss what are the key factors for a successful project. Many of you are from the corporate world. Yes, what do you think? What are the key factors for success?
Good planning.
Yes, who's that?
Good planning.
Good planning, yes. Yes, that's a very nice point, yes.
Then implementation of plans.
Wonderful, implementation of plans, yes. What else?
Information and research.
Yes, Information and research. Yes, you research about the plan and you put the correct input. What else?
Alignment of objectives.
Yes?
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Yes, yes. What's your good name, sir?
Rajendra.
Rajendra. Mr. Rajendra. Yes, sorry. Yes. What else?
Alignment of objectives.
Alignment. Yes. What else?
Determination.
Determination. Yes. What else?
Right people.
Right people. Yes. A right team, a correct team, motivated team. Okay. So let us see what happens. Now, these are some points. Now, let us see what happened now. These are the success points. And let us see if Duryodhan had all of them as spoken by all of you, right? So this is again a shloka. Pashyetam Panduputranam Acharyam Mahadeep Chamum
Acharyam Mahadeep Chamum
Yudham Drupada Putrena
Vyuham Drupetrena
Tava Shishyena Dhimata.
Tava Shishyena Dhimata.
Translation please, anybody can read.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right. So now Krishna is, the Duryodhan is going now. He is very anxious. The conch shells are blown, and those conch shells of Pandavas are so loud that it has shaken up the Kauravas. Now Duryodhan goes to Dronacharya and he says, look at these, behold my teacher. Teacher is Dronacharya. Look at this great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple Drupad. Now why is he giving this example of Drupad? Son of Drupad. Who is son of Drupad? Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna is the son of Drupad. Now, he knows about the past of Dronacharya. Dronacharya and Drupad were once studying in a Gurukul, and they fought with each other, and they were best of friends actually in Gurukul, right? And Dronacharya was from a poor Brahmin family, and from the Bharat, and his father's name was Bharatwaj. And Drupad was a king. He was the son of a king. So he was going to be a king, which was very natural. So, but he was dull in studies and extracurricular activities, whereas Dronacharya was very, very sharp in everything, in studies and his extracurricular activities as well. So Dronacharya would help Drupad many times to complete a lot of projects and to do many things in the Gurukul. So Drupad felt very indebted to Dronacharya. So he went to him at the end of his Gurukul tenure and he said, whenever in future you feel that you need any help, I am always there for you. I will always, half of my kingdom I am ready to give you at any time you feel that you cannot manage your house. So years passed and they went away. And now a son was born to Dronacharya. His name was Ashwatthama. And Ashwatthama also was a very bright child, but they were very, very poor. And once Ashwatthama was teased that for having rice water, for having rice water instead of milk by his classmates. They were so poor that they could not afford milk. So this really hurt Dronacharya. So at that time he remembered of his friend Drupad. He went to him, and of course first initially the guards wouldn't let him in because he was dressed up as a poor Brahmin. So ultimately when the guards let him in, he went to Drupad and he said that, remember, we were friends long back, and you had promised me that whenever I was in distress, I could come and take help from you. I don't want half of your kingdom, but I want just 5 cows so that I can feed milk to my son Ashwatthama. So Drupad started mocking. So whenever we want to test a person, what do? Give him power. So when that power went up to his head, he refused to remember or even think of what good Dronacharya had done to him when he was in his childhood. So he refused, and he very carelessly told his people, the soldiers, oh, give this poor Brahmin 5 cows. So he was very insulted. He went back, Dronacharya went back, and he said he would take a revenge. See how strong an insult is, right? Something that you say to people never gets erased, right? So we must be very careful of what we speak. At least we can try to be. So then he went back home and he started he started impressing Bhishma Dev, and he convinced Bhishma Dev that he could mentor the Kauravas and the Pandavas in Astra Shastra Vidya. So he did that, and he found that Arjuna was the best person, to go and defeat whom? Drupad, right? So he asked the Kauravas, he asked all the Kauravas and Pandavas to go and defeat and take all the kingdom of Drupad and tie his hands and come back. So Kauravas were very excited, and Duryodhana was always, full of lot of pride, and he went and they lost. But again, Arjuna was sent. So Arjuna freed Duryodhana and also defeated Drupad and brought him with his hands tied. When he brought him with his hands tied, Dronacharya made Drupad realize, see what you said and how you insulted me. So at that time, on a friendly note, Drupad said, okay, I'm ready to give you half of my kingdom. He gave that kingdom to Ashwatthama. He went back, he was set free, but again that hatred carried on. He did not forgive Dronacharya. He did a yagna where he invoked the blessings of Yagna Devata, and he said, I want a son who can kill Dronacharya, who can kill Ashwatthama. Right? And so he begot a son, right, named Drishtadyumna. And that is what, but Drishtadyumna was also mentored by Dronacharya, because Dronacharya was a pious Kshatriya, Brahman, but he was acting like a Kshatriya because he was teaching Astra Shastra Vidya, warfare activities. And so he said that no, whether he is my enemy or friend, I will mentor him. So that is what Duryodhana is saying. See, you have mentored the child of your enemy, and see how he has so expertly arranged the Sena of Pandus. So he's trying to invoke that anger in Dronacharya. Don't be Sambhava. He's trying to tell, if we are Sambhava, will we fight with anyone? No, right? So he says, don't be Sambhava. We have that animosity. So he's trying to tell. So next is Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma bhirakshitam paryaptam tvaidam metesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. So he says, yeah, please, somebody can read this.
Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited.
Yes. Hare Krishna, thank you. So he says that yes, our strength is protected by Bhishma Dev, and he is trying to motivate his team that yes, everybody must support and give cover to Bhishma Dev. He is also trying to say that all of you are very, very efficient, but he is also trying to say that Bhishma Dev is old. So we must see, look at the diplomacy of Duryodhana. And he is also saying on the other side there is Bhima. Why is he wanting? Why is he trying to put his enemy down? Why only Bhima? Why not Arjuna and why not Yudhishthira? Anybody? Why is quoting Bhima's name?
Because Bhima is the only person who can kill Duryodhana.
Yes, and wonderful. And Duryodhana is the one who said, okay, to Draupadi, come sit on my lap. And Bhima is the one who said that I will break this lap. Right? So he remembers this. He is inside, he's fearful, he's scared, but he's trying to put his enemy down by bringing up Bhishma Dev. Yes, the steps to success, we saw, identify the right people, offer them the right bait, analysis of strength, estimate pains and gains, estimate and make a solid plan, carry on with what you have and be positive. This is everything that Duryodhana had, isn't it? Yes, anybody who denies that Duryodhana didn't have even one of it? He had all the wonderful archers, he had everything, he had very nice strategic plans, he was a nice orator, he was a nice team leader, sab kuch tha, right? So, did he? But what happened? Duryodhana failed, right? Duryodhana failed. For example, in a corporate, if we have all these things that you all mentioned, but if we are not aligned with the strategies of the company, will the project go forward, move forward? No. Right? So what is the strategy here? What is the actual cause of success? So, before the war, Duryodhana and Arjuna, they went to Lord Krishna while he was lying down in his slumber. And Arjuna was sitting near the lotus feet of the Lord, and Duryodhana was sitting at the head. of the Lord, near the head end of the Lord. He was sitting on a chair and Duryodhana and Arjuna was standing with his hands folded. As soon as Krishna opened his eyes, but natural, he saw Arjun first, right? And when he saw Arjun, he said, yes, Parth, tell me. Yes, my dear Arjuna, tell me, how can I help you? So Duryodhana felt really offended. He said, I am standing here. Why aren't you paying attention to me? Look at the pride of Duryodhana, right? So then, after this discussion, so Krishna told Duryodhana, Duryodhana, if you want the war, what do you want? You want me? I will not even fight, right? I will be, do you want me on your side or you want my 11 Akshani Sena? The Sena that Krishna had was, and each and every soldier of that Sena was as powerful as Krishna himself. He said that to Duryodhana, right? And he said on the other side, I will be there, but I will not even fight. Sirf charioteer hoga. We know what Duryodhana said. What did he say? That I want your Akshani Narayani Sena. Right? So, what was the signs of victory of Pandavas? A holy environment. Yes. Why a holy environment? Because Krishna was present there. Right? We'll discuss each of these in detail. So, and the presence of Lord Krishna, blessed with Madhava, presence of great devotee Hanuman. Right? Why? Because at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sanjay says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir, Dhuvanitir Madir Mama. Wherever there is Yogeshwar Krishna, wherever there is a warrior like Arjuna, there are bound to be four things for sure, which is opulence, victory, extraordinary power and morality. That is my opinion. Right? How do we apply this in our lives? We will see this. Right? So most of the time, when somebody comes after, say, an RTA, a road traffic accident, that's what we call in our medical terms, and they have deep wounds, do we only apply bandage and send them back? No, right? These are just patch-up solutions. We clean the wound, we stitch the wounds, we dress it up and cover it nicely and call them for a follow-up. Keep them under observation. That is the true solution. So what is the true solution here? So, yes, what is the true solution here? That yes, we have to go to the path of perfection. Right? How? Some of us may have skills, like Duryodhana had skills, but some of us may have skills, but we may not have, and also he had skills, but no, some of us may have skills, sorry, but we may not have the will to win, or the will to perform a particular activity in the most pious way. We resort to all wrong ways. In our corporates also, we want to step up by stepping down on others. Isn't it? It happens, right? So, we want to earn valuables, right? We want to achieve gadgets, we want to procure goods, but we forget the values, right? We want to attain success, and we also have fear of adversity. After doing all this also, what if my project is not successful? What will happen, right? So, then we go. How does the success come? From success, we shift our attention to happiness. How? We concentrate on the process without worrying about the result. Right? Duryodhana was all the time worrying. He had this anxiety, he had this fear. That what if Pandavas do this? What if they do this? He was actually not there. He was thinking about the mystery which is future. Right? Most of the time we do that. So, isn't it? We keep thinking of what the result is and we don't enjoy the process. Right? And from fear of adversity, from adversity comes opportunity. Yes? Even if we don't get success, there is an adversity, we get an opportunity to learn. We get an opportunity to learn from our own mistakes, from the mistakes of others. Krishna also had his own pains and gains. From the moment he was born he appeared in a jail. Right? So many demons. Right? He was called by all Ranchor and Makhanchor and all these sorts of names. He also had his ups and downs. So is it that if we read Bhagavad Gita, if we follow Bhagavad Gita, we will not have ups and downs in life? We will have, but we will perfect the way how to deal with these ups and downs in life. Instead of seeking for a happy life, we will seek for a meaningful life. Right? So, yes, how does the environment make a difference? We said that yes, the perfect environment has to be there. Yes, for our this thing, we may serve the Lord as a family. A family that prays together, stays together. And from that, children learn. Right? So we can give a perfect environment in the house itself. Right? We see a small infant here. Even if we sing the holy names, that goes in his consciousness. When he grows up, he will develop an attraction to hear the holy name and to hear the Bhagavad Gita shlokas. That is the difference. And then, of course, cleanliness is next to godliness, regular worship, and such houses are full of positive vibrations. Yes, presence of Lord Narayan and Lakshmi. Between each couple sitting here, if there is no divine couple, Sita Ram or Shri Radha Krishna, how do we expect that this me and mine will subside? It will never subside. It will always be Dhritarashtra mentality or Duryodhana mentality. Only and only when we have this divine couple between us, when we serve them together, instead of thinking that the wife thinks that my husband doesn't help me in housework, the husband thinks the wife doesn't earn and doesn't take care of children nicely, and so on. The war goes on. Right? But if we think we are bringing up children in Krishna consciousness for the pleasure of this divine couple, we are making food, we are to offer bhoga to the Lord, तब कोई नहीं बोलेगा कि salt कम है, tasty नहीं है. Right? Because we are partaking the prasadam. Right? Just by this thought in our mind. Isn't it? So, and of course, why? It is Narayana and Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. Krishna is called Madhava, means the husband of Madhava. Lakshmi is the goddess of fortune, right? So when we serve the goddess of, Shri Radha Krishna, Lord Narayan, as a couple, as a family, then there is a lot of opulence. We should not have a Duryodhana mentality or a Kamsa mentality who only wanted Sita Maiya and no Ram. Right? We only want Lakshmi and no Narayan. Right? So that is the difference. Yeah. Holy name. Yes, the holy name purifies our heart. Right? Because Krishna is non-different from his names. Yes. And good company, which Duryodhana did not have. Good company matters a lot. Association of selfless, pure-hearted people, so can create a lot of positivity in us. We often go to our colleagues, and we often, who tell us. Suppose we go and say that, today I'm feeling really distressed. Oh, come, let's go for a coffee. Oh, come, let's go for a drink. We forget everything. Right? It happens. In a normal situation, it happens. But the Bhagavad Gita says that this is only patch-up solution. It is not a perfect solution. Right? Instead, pick up Bhagavad Gita, open it. Whatever page, Mahatma Gandhi used to do this. If at all you have not started reading the Bhagavad Gita for some reason, and for those who have not attended this, you may also convey this message that they can pick up and read one shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Some or the other solution will come your way. The best is, we humbly request all of you to be connected with us through these 9 sessions so that we can move forward together in this journey. Yes, sometimes this journey you may encounter a lot of traffic jams due to a lot of information coming at one time. But yes, slowly we can move forward and ply our way through. Right? So Lord Krishna, what humble service he took up in the war of Kurukshetra of a charioteer. Yes, we know. And Lord Krishna, who is the master of the universe, who handles so many universes, right? That Lord Krishna is the charioteer of Arjuna. And do you know how Arjuna conveyed to Lord Krishna that go in this direction, go in that direction? He was kicked. Arjuna used to kick Lord Krishna on his right leg to convey that, okay, Krishna turned right. He used to kick on the left side of Lord Krishna to convey that go on the left. Because that place of Kurukshetra was so noisy. There was a noise of elephants, there was noise of, all the animals and the soldiers shouting, yelling. But Krishna, what does it teach us? hypocrisy, and now humility. Humility is such a thing which can, in a crowd we can recognize the person by how he behaves, right? That is humility. And Krishna is teaching us that. And Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal for the sake of Arjuna, to establish dharma. Because Arjuna is a devotee of the Lord, he takes all this, beatings of Arjuna in the middle of Kurukshetra. Huh? He is the Lord of the universe. Can you imagine a CEO of a company driving you and saying, okay, you please sit behind, I'll drive the car for you? No, their egos will be hurt so much, isn't it? But Lord Krishna teaches us humility. And that very principle also Srila Prabhupada taught us. What is the mood of a leader? No, not a leader, a servant leader. Right? So what is the mood of a servant leader? Is to serve others, not to, boss over others. Hey, you do this, you do that, and you sit back and relax. No, Prabhupada used to cook for these hippies, for his new disciples, and he used to serve them also, and after they left, he would also wash the utensils of his disciples. This is the mood of a servant leader. This is the quality of a true leader, humility. Right? That is what Prabhupada taught us. Right? And of course, what is Arjuna's depression now and indecision? What does he say? What are the reasons that Arjuna gives for not fighting? What does he say? That if we kill our family members, if we kill our elders, sin will overcome us. First thing. He gives very valid reasons. He gives very valid reasons. He says, sin will overcome us. Second, he says that if we kill the elders of the family traditions will go for a toss. Right? Third reason he gives is that if we kill all the men of the dynasty, all the females will be completely bereft of safety, and they will be attacked by men from outside. From that, there will be Varna Sankara, means there will be unwanted children who will come, and that generation will be a complete catastrophe, right? Because they are unwanted children born out of not illegitimate relationships, right? And they will create a havoc in the society. Whatever reasons Arjuna was giving, but very, very apt and correct, isn't it? He was quoting from the Shastras. He was very, very, and of course he says that even if I win this war, who will I enjoy it? Who will I show off my kingdom to? We buy something, we want to show our relatives, isn't it? So these were his reasons for not fighting. And then he completely, he kind of goes berserk, he completely goes haywire. Right? So what is it? Is it that the Pandavas had Krishna fight? No. They fought. They did their duty. Right? They did their duty, and after that the result was in Krishna's hands. And of course victory was promised because they followed what Krishna said. So yes, Krishna is ready to be our charioteer, our guide. Krishna is ready to take charge of our lives, but we have to pick up our Bhagavad Gita and we have to come to these classes to understand what we must do in each and every situation of our life. Right? And following Bhagavad Gita gives us the right kind of indication that yes, at this time we do this. So these are some qualities: tolerance, simplicity, no hypocrisy, and of course, humility. Yes, humility. Right? And of course, Krishna, after listening to Arjuna, Krishna mocks at Arjuna. He laughs at Arjuna. He says, "Why speaking from the Shastras like a learned man? You are behaving like a fool, number one." Krishna is very direct with Arjuna. He says this to the grief-stricken Arjuna. And sometimes when we are grief-stricken and somebody tells us a direct thing like this, we feel so bad. Our egos are hurt, isn't it? ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया? And we want to hear what we want to hear. We don't want to hear the right thing, right? So what are the key ingredients? So we learned today that Yes, what are the three key ingredients that one has to develop? One has to develop regular reading of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Regular reading of the Bhagavad Gita is required to understand this. Yet, yes, what do we need in our lives, right? And of course, chanting of the holy names, because that purifies the heart of all the anarthas, Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Matsarya, Mada, Matsarya, right? And of course, we learned that address the right person, right? That will be the complete solution, right? And in how we knew that in 1970s the problems in schools were how children would tease the teacher or throw a chalk, right? These would be the problems of the children. But nowadays, what do we see? Drugs, a lot of drugs, early pregnancies. So the problems are increasing exponentially. We need to work on this. How? By adopting to Bhagavad Gita, and also by teaching our children. By teaching our children what is the right method of living lives. So take up devotion in your life, take up to spirituality in your life, and then we feel that then we see that the lotus of our heart has implemented, right? And many a times we also, we call up many people, no offense to anyone, what do they say? No thanks, we are busy. Right? We'll see the recording later. Right? We get these kind of answers. Yes, of course, that is for our purification. Right? When we get a no for an answer, this is a great service of the Lord that we are doing with complete humility without taking any credits ourselves. Whatever is there in Bhagavad Gita, I'm just like a postman conveying it to all of you. Whatever I've heard from my Guru Maharaj, from my seniors. Yes, but what does Krishna say? Yatha icchasi tata kuru. Krishna also says to Arjuna, I have narrated the Bhagavad Gita to you completely. It is your wish. You want to attend? You don't want to attend in aerial theatre? Krishna says, you want to apply these principles or no? Arjuna, do as you like. So he's giving an invitation. He's completely giving an invitation to all these, he's giving an invitation to, yes, that, these are the things that I have told you. It's completely up to you. But what did Arjuna do? What did Arjuna do? Did he listen to Krishna? Yes. And what happened to him?
Victorious.
Yes, he was victorious, right? We all are Arjunas in our own way. We are fighting a battle each single day. We are fighting. And we are also kind of, seeking for that perfect solution, not a patch-up solution, right? So, next time when we are in distress, what do?
Read Gita.
Yes, we chant. First of all, we chant, because when our mind is clouded, right, or when our heart is full of sorrows, it's like in a muddy, dirty place, right? Water is muddy in a puddle, and we're looking for a coin. Will we find it? No, right? We have to wait for the water to settle down. Then probably we can look for the lost coin, right? And in a similar way, when any dukkha dosha darshanam, when any dukkha comes to us, what do? We tolerate it for some time, rather than going berserk, and rather than resorting to drugs, alcohol, and any other things, right? This is a complete. These sessions, we are expecting a complete transformation of the heart, right? Through these sessions, we are expecting that we imbibe some of the qualities that of Arjuna, and we listen to what Bhagavad Gita has to tell us, and make our lives more meaningful and hence successful in any sphere of life that we may come across, or we may endeavor to be. We may want to be on the top of our corporate world. There's no harm. Krishna didn't tell Arjuna, leave everything and renounce. Excuse me. Krishna told Arjuna, no, fight and gain this kingdom. Do not renounce, gain this kingdom. Jao or ye jeet ke aao. So in our material lives also, if we have aspirations to become the CEO of a company, we may go ahead, but keeping in mind these things, that obstacles will come, we must tolerate. How a leader should be? Humble, right? Simple, right? Without any hypocrisy, with lots of humility. And such a leader does not see a pyramid like this himself on the top. He sees a pyramid like this. Okay, where he's done and he gives importance to each and every. And he gives importance and he also guides for the upliftment of the other subordinate people. Right? So this is what it is for today's session. Thank you very much for being so patient and listening. And we'd like to take some questions if at all there are any. Any questions from today's first chapter? This is a summary of today's first chapter, today's chapter. Anyone? Yes, anybody would like to ask? I'll try my best to answer. Yes.
Mother, I have one question. Like when we call for this Gita Course, people are hesitant.
Yes.
Why should we?
Very good. It's a very genuine question which is coming from Prabhuji. That when we call people for Bhagavad Gita classes, yes, Krishna also said to Arjuna, we cannot force anyone. Yathachasi tata kuru. But yes, we carry a compassion in our hearts that we want people to listen to what Krishna said. Yeah. So we can tell them that yes, you can come. You can come for one session and see for yourself. If you don't like it, you may please step back. But it is a humble request. Yeah. Yeah. But we may tell them that it is a humble request that you please come for one session. There is prasadam and there is wonderful session for children as well. Right? Time will come. And the most successful thing that happens is, Prabhu, I have seen from my personal experience when I'm also doing the calling sermon. Before calling each person, we chant for that person. Hari Bol. We chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These transcendental vibrations reach that person and inspires the heart of that person to come and attend. Yes, so that is what we can do from our side. Rest, Krishna is the CEO, controller, enjoyer, and O stands for operator. Yes, he is the